So transportation, communication, and technology have all reached a stage where these years ahead will be spectacular, especially the beginning years of the 21st century. Here's what's next: an era of tremendous opportunity for enterprises, towns, governments, nations, and sectors globally. But here's the flip side: keen competitiveness. You may not always feel the intensity of global rivalry, but it's there. A job opens up in Southern California. Does it stay there, or does it travel to India? These are extraordinary times. World competitiveness, severe competition, but also remarkable opportunity. These are tremendous shifts. But the real question is, how do we take use of them? Along with these changes come personal, national, and international difficulties, which have always been part of history. According to the storyteller, when there were only 4 humans on Earth, one killed another, wiping off 25% of the population. It hasn't become that extreme, but these are still hard times. However, they are also periods of great opportunity. That's why we must be prepared for both. The problems and the opportunities. The trick is knowing how to be ready for both. The daily task of running business right ensures the future. So, how can we accomplish that? Let me offer some essential ideas. Number 1, you must have more than one skill. Over the last 25 years, we've all witnessed firms downsize. A division gets downsized, and someone who has worked for the company for 20 years suddenly finds themselves out of a position. They struggle financially, often because they had only one expertise. So, number 1, develop many skills. This is vital for future security. For me, learning various skills revolutionized my life. One expertise helped me build my wealth by the time I was 31. It radically impacted my life and laid the framework for my profession, eventually taking me to Palm Springs. I produced a list of the essential talents I developed. I grew up in rural country, southwest Idaho. I knew how to milk cows, but that ability alone didn't pay well. The first additional skill I learned that transformed my life was sales. Find a product or service you believe in and deliver it so well that someone says, "Yes, I'll buy." The rest of wealth building comes from exceptional service. Excellent service leads to repeat business. One well cared for consumer is worth hundreds of dollars in advertising. A delighted consumer can unlock doors you never could on your own. I mastered the skill of providing great service, and my revenue multiplied by 5 in my first year. Now, I had 2 skills, milking cows and gaining customers. The third skill I learned changed my life forever, finding nice people. If you manage an enterprise, you need outstanding people. The Bible gives this advice. If you search, you will find. If you want nice people, you must start looking. Knock on doors. The first door, nobody's there. The second door, someone orders you to get away. The fourth door opens, and behind it, you may find a potential companion, business partner, or money opportunity. I developed this skill, finding nice individuals. Someone once asked me, "Do you train your employees to be nice?" I said, "No. I hire good people. I skip unnecessary training by recruiting the right people from the start." So now I had 3 vital skills: milking cows, gaining clients, and finding wonderful individuals. The second ability that accelerated my income was organizing, getting others to work together. It's like managing a family, different ages, personalities, and temperaments. How can you combine them toward a shared purpose to generate a great result? It's tough, but it pays off. If you learn it, organizing autonomous people is like herding cats. If you've got the picture, herding sheep is easy, right? They all move in the same direction swiftly, but not cats. If you have 9 cats, they're going in 9 directions. But if you master it, if you learn how to adjust, to grasp different personalities, temperaments, and ages, then everything alters. And when you learn it, your revenue multiplies. My income did. Here's the next one that made me rich: recognition. Promotion and recognition. Sometimes organizations promote for significant achievements, but I learned to acknowledge people for tiny accomplishments. I rewarded even the little progress. Then, a mindset altered everything for me. Be so busy providing recognition to others that you no longer need it for yourself. Now, one more skill that really led me here: communication, affecting people through language. Words are almost godlike in power. The storyteller says, in the beginning, God spoke, saying, let there be light, and there was light, showing us that words create. Humans can get close to that. What if someone can't perceive their achievement, but you share your story in precisely the perfect way? And after you finish, they remark, now I see. It's clear. Before I was blind, but now I understand. That's almost godlike. Someone says, while you were talking, things dawned on me. What does dawn mean? The sun rising, the light turning on. By talking, you can turn the lights on for others. They can see because there's more than one way to look. One with the eyes and one with the mind. A person can close their eyes and still say, see it. It's clear. How? Through comprehension, with the appropriate words, you can help someone see possibilities, opportunities, answers to difficulties. This is one of the finest gifts, the ability to communicate. Now, I divided into 3 sections, and you know them. Number 1, training, showing someone how the business operates. Here's the job. Here's how to execute it. Simple language, real steps. Training. Next, teaching someone how life works. At 25, I met a man who taught me both career skills and life skills. He offered me superb training. I became a billionaire by 31. But beyond commercial skills, he taught me life skills, goal setting, leadership, influence, time management. Here's a vital lesson on time management. Write this down. Don't start the day until you have it finished. Building a good day is like building a house. When do you start building a house? When it's finished, at least on paper. If you merely start laying bricks with no strategy and someone asks, what are you building? And you say, I don't know. They'll take you away. So, don't start the day until it's finished. A strategy for a good day. And here's a tougher one. Don't start the week until it's ended. Even difficult, but the rewards are huge. Don't start the month until it's ended. This is a remarkable ability, one of the finest assets we have, the ability to finish. First, you start it. Then, you see it through. It's like turning nothing becomes something. What are the elements of turning nothing into something? Only humans can achieve this. Here they are. Number 1, imagination. Imagine the possibilities. It's hard to claim imagination is not anything, it's just not tangible. Imagination, it's not a table, not real, yet it is powerful. So, imagination. Imagine the possibilities. Here's the next stage in turning nothing into something, believing that it's possible for you. A simple phrase says, with faith, all things are possible. Without faith, nothing is possible. If there's one thing to pray for, that's probably it. Faith to believe. 1, imagination. 2, faith to believe. What makes us believe? Testimonials. Someone relates a dramatic story. Here's where I started, 18 years old. Here's where I am today. And they finish by saying, hey, if I can do it, you can do it. Come on. I started just like you. I read the first book, attended the first class, and made the first decision to start the process of change. That's how we get inspired. 1, imagine. 2, believe. And here's number 3. Go to work and make it real. That's how you turn nothing into anything. That's how this cluster of buildings got here. Someone spotted them when the property was vacant. You could question, how can you see something that isn't there? Well, if someone can't see it before it exists, it will never be here. Some people can envision it so clearly that they can produce an artist drawing and say, This is the building. You might argue, no, it doesn't exist. But they'll say, yes, it does. In thought, in mind, in imagination. Then think that it's doable for you. And lastly, go to work. That sort of teaching, that kind of training, the management of your time, the management of your money. It's what I've been teaching for years. The 70-10-10-10 method for money management. A lady told me recently she was in real estate. I inquired, how many properties do you own? She said, oh no, I don't own any. I sell real estate. I asked again, how many properties do you own? She said, none. So I told her, if you sell real estate, you make a life. If you buy real estate, you make a fortune. I've averaged building a couple of homes a year up in Idaho, where I grew up. I still have the ancient family homestead in southwest Idaho, overlooking the Snake River. I'm in the path of progress, building homes every year. Let me tell you an extraordinary real estate story. 13 years ago, Don Ron Wagenhals from Carmel, California said, Mr. R, I have a neat little condo downtown where I know you want to live. I said, yes, I do. He said, it's pretty small, but it's right downtown, 1 bedroom. I want $80,000 for it. I said, nobody's going to pay $80,000 for this tiny property. If you weigh 200 pounds, you can't even fit in the shower. It's that small. A few weeks ago, I was in Carmel, and someone told me, you might be surprised to know Ron Wagenhals' condo is still for sale. I hadn't looked at it in years. They inquired, would you like to see it? It's just a couple of blocks away. I said, sure. I walked up 3 flights of stairs to see that tiny place. Price tag, $650,000. Ron Wagenhals blesses God every night that Jim Ron didn't buy the condo from him. Speaking about real estate, I have a home in Phoenix at the Arizona Biltmore complex. The last 2 houses before you reach the golf course, the country club, sit on magnificent lots. Nor 10 acres, nor 20 acres, just outstanding parcels. The house behind the one at the country club, no $8 million. The one immediately next to the country club, $15 million. Unbelievable. You all know these stories, right? We shouldn't have just sold real estate. We should have bought real estate. Dan McBride had a terrific idea all those years ago. Jot this one down. It's good. Don't buy the second car until you've bought the second house. Because it's not vehicles that make you rich. It's houses. Rich. I taught this in Mexico. Sarah Alfaro picked it up 10 years ago, the 7-10 guideline. And she not only applies it, but she also teaches it now. She makes roughly, I don't know, $35,000 to $40,000 a month in Mexico, which is a considerable lot there. Sarah called me the other day and said, Mr. Rand, I'm going shopping today for my 3rd car. I said, well, congrats, Sarah, because I had just finished paying for my 3rd house. Speaking of real estate, anyway, where was I before I got diverted on that wild excursion out to Carmel, California, where my grandchildren live? Okay. Teach. Earning money makes you a living. Investing money makes you rich. We now encourage students not to rely on a savings account, since savings alone won't make you affluent. Instead, we encourage kids to have an investment account. It's investments that build wealth. It should be the objective of every American to achieve financial independence. I recall reaching that point all those years ago. Here's what my father taught me: be debt-free and financially independent. Here's why. When you do that, you may work for joy rather than need. And usually, people are significantly more productive when working out of enthusiasm rather than obligation. Communication and developing new skills improve lives. Now, here's the last tip on communication: learning to inspire, helping individuals view themselves as more than they are. Yes, you might be making mistakes or terrible judgments today, but here's who you can become. Fortunately for me, I met someone gifted in this. He knows how to motivate. He only passed the 9th grade, never finished high school, never went college or university, but he had a knack of simplifying things and encouraging people. So make a note, start with your family and children, ask for the gift to inspire them, then extend it to your employees, colleagues, and those who work for you. Learning multiple skills ensures economic security for the future. To take advantage of the 21st century, acquire new skills, more than one. And here's another tip: learn more than one language. The globe is getting smaller. When I was growing up, my father spoke German, but he never taught me. My mother spoke French. She was English, but proficient in French, yet she never taught me. I could have learned 3 languages as a child. But back then, parents believed in leaving old world languages behind. This is America. Just English, just English. That's not true anymore. Some of my business colleagues, fluent in 3 or 4 languages, earn 3 to 4 million a year. Language is an important asset. So make this note. If you think it's too late for you to learn a 2nd or 3rd language, give that gift to your children. It will be really handy. In the 21st century, being multi-skilled and bilingual is crucial. Now, what's next in capitalizing on 21st century opportunities? Along with the rivalry, the key is this: learn the fundamental lesson of economics. I'm sure you've heard it over and over, but let me share it one more time. Let me put it on the board. Hey, no issue. I was going to move that right over here. Don, I appreciate my name in lights. Looks wonderful. Thanks, Don. Appreciate that. My mom used to say, one day, if you're good. Yeah, I see it. I'm trying to glance at both screens at once. Okay, you've undoubtedly seen this 1,000 times. We get compensated for delivering value to the marketplace. The marketplace is the people. And value comes in 2 forms. Once you realize this, the world is yours. The value you deliver, whether through a product or a service, employment. And second, the value you bring. One can make you a living, while the other can make you a fortune. I discovered that fundamental economic lesson at 25 years old, and it altered my life. If you work for a company that keeps improving its product, they'll keep making it better. The key to a better future is to continuously developing yourself. Economics in America is fairly straightforward. It starts at $5 an hour. That's called the minimum wage. And then it goes up from there. The highest income last year, someone earned 36 million in a single year. So from $5 an hour to 36 million, that's economics in America. No wonder so many people want to visit here. What do we call that? A heck of a ladder. What else could you call it? Now, here's something that changed my life forever. At age 25, I found that my income was decided not by the economy, but by my ideology. Make a note of that. If you already know it, that's excellent. If you teach it, even better. Your income is mostly decided by your philosophy, not the economy. I had no idea when I was 25. I would have sworn otherwise. When my tutor said, "Why aren't you doing well?" I showed him my paycheck and said, "Look, this is all the company pays." He said, "No, that's all the company pays you." That was a new way of looking at things. Speaking of philosophy, how do you move from $5 an hour to $6 an hour? Let me offer you some examples of philosophies that can bring you there. The first one, wait for the government to raise the minimum wage. That's easy, right? If you wait long enough, they'll adjust it to 6. By law, your employer needs to pay you 6. But how long will that take? Much longer than you'd like. That's one philosophy, waiting for the government. The second, wait for the corporation to pay you $6 an hour. How long will that take? When is the next review? 6 months? A year? What if you don't get a raise? A long time simply to move from $5 to 6. But other individuals opt to wait. That's another worldview. The third, go on strike. This is termed the mindset of demand. I demand $6 an hour, or I won't work. If you're alone, this is perilous. But if you have 1,000 people with you saying, none of us will work unless we get 6,000, then you might have a chance. Still, this philosophy is limited. You might get a few cents more, maybe even $1 or a better benefit. But here's the truth. Write this down using the concept of demand. You cannot get rich. If riches is your goal, you won't attain it this way. It's sad when someone is in the correct country but has the wrong philosophy. So, what's a better approach? The philosophy of performance. The ideology of performance says, I will work so well, arriving early, staying late, doing extra, that my firm will have no issue justifying paying me $6 an hour. My father delivered one of the best lessons on achievement in a simple remark. He used to say, and I wish he were here to say it himself, but here's what he said, always do more than you're paid for. Some unions may disagree, stating it disturbs the system, but this is what my father believed. Always accomplish more than you're compensated for, because that's how you invest in your future.